everybody, and welcome to a Minecraft Musings. I was gonna do one talking about the vice presidential debate. So, if you don't want a politics-heavy musing, then this one's not for you. But and no offense, and I understand. Like, I mean, we've got enough politics. Like election time, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. Emotions are flying. Like everybody's getting all mad. And wait, how far out am I? Let's see. And I'm working on the garden, but. I mean, first off, I think it was good. Like, they were definitely a lot more well spoken than the presidential debate, both of them, like Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. They were both just, I mean, and I think that's because they're both more angry at each other, more using more pointed attacks and things, whereas the vice presidents, they were both like amazingly calm. And they kept complimenting each other, like, well, I agree with this, and like there is some middle ground, and like they definitely sounded like they were gonna do some bipartisan negotiations, like, and actually, and yeah, and like I'll try to talk about all the topics that I remember too, and just kind of my take on it. But like, I mean, specifically the well, okay, wait, let's not jump into it too much. So sorry, I was on a roll and then I just kind of stumbled, but no, it was good. It was refreshing and it was interesting. Um, I don't know. Overall, alarming with. Well, no, let's look at each of the issues. So, abortion, choice, all that. Like, they were both pretty convincing with that. I mean, and Vance was more about. Um, he did mention, like, making it more affordable to have a family, which is a very big concern. I mean, housing, affordable housing, that's definitely a concern. And, like, I'm. See, I don't even know what I'm doing with all that stuff. Let's see that. Anyways. Um, and yeah, and I was watching the analysis with Robert Reich, which he also makes a lot of really great videos, and he's very entertaining, and it makes a lot of sense too. He breaks down like how we can tax the wealthy. Um, let's see, what are the other ones? Like what the tax loopholes are, like wealth tax and stuff like that, and understanding like where we can actually be, redirecting like kind of our focus with taxes. And it oddly aligns some with the Republican hype, like, no tax on overtime. Well, what about just no income tax, period? I mean, if you tax, I mean, and on anyone making less than 400,000, like, and I'm thinking like hedge fund managers, like, the C-suite executives, like, I mean, and that's even like the really high paid one, $400,000. That's, what is that? That's almost, how much does a president make? So, no, sorry, I want to look this up because I mean, I think Congress people make like 200,000 and but let's see. Annual salary. And then there's that whole argument with old Donald about how he didn't take a salary. Well, he also made billions and he loves to brag about it. How much does the president make? 250 a year, right? Oh, 400,000 per year. Okay. So anyone you could even make it like anyone making more than $400,000 a year. So we're not even income taxing the president. But anyone that makes more than the freaking president of the United States, yeah, you pay a lot more tax. In fact, no, you make half of that now. No, just kidding. Like that would be messed up. But like, well, actually, no, 50% tax on your income. Half of your income goes to. No, that seems a little bit aggressive. I don't know. But I mean, other things, and again, I deflect to like Robert Reich because he's able to explain like tax reform, sensible stuff way better than I. I have only a mild understanding of accounting and finance and stuff like that, like just enough, and I didn't even pay a lot of attention to those classes. I'll be honest. I was worried about algorithms and data structures and computer science stuff that I was doing concurrently with that. So I couldn't even tell you what I did in my international business class, the capstone. I mean, I know I did it and I studied and I understood, like, it was basically like the micro level or microeconomics only on a macro scale that dealt with like, and tariffs and stuff. Like, I trust Robert Reich to know more about like, would tariffs actually increase cost of goods. I mean, that actually sound makes a lot of sense right there. Like, if the cost goes up, and this is like right up there with the tobacco tax. And as a former smoker, I remember how much I was upset about that because taxes just kept going up and up and up. And I didn't make more money. It's just I sacrificed more money to an addiction that I felt that I had to, and it kept going more and more. Well, I mean, I guess not that I had to, like I did have to. And when you're addicted to tobacco, whew, when you're addicted to anything, that's why it's called an addiction. It's nothing nice. So, yeah. And again, magic mushrooms help with tobacco and alcohol and hard drug dependency and addiction every time. Anyone who's ever used anything like that and has been addicted knows. That's how that's your parachute. Your escape from the harshness. So that mixed with a lot of other things, like these hippie farms that I'm trying to help. I'm not even like that involved with them. I'm just trying to connect the people that can make it happen and really build a business plan. And I knew this one person, he was an addictions counselor, and he like loved to make businesses and just kind of hand them off to people like, here you go. Here's all I've done the groundwork, and now you got to go do the work, and then this could work out good. It might not, like, whatever. Oh, all right, hold on. Ah, I think I might be getting sick. But anyways, no, don't worry, no hard drugs or anything like now. But back to the debate though, like, and it was interesting to hear the spin on things. And that's what someone else I used to know would say, like the spin. Like, what would the politicians twist and hide? And like, the first example I saw, because I jumped in when they were talking about abortion. Like, Tim Waltz didn't answer the question, does Minnesota allow an abortion up to 9 months? And my honest answer is I don't know either. I think if the life is at risk, I think abortions up until the day. I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm out of my depth in this one. I would, def, I would trust someone in the medical field, which Waltz is. I mean, like, or not in the medical field, but like he was mentioning, how Minnesota has a huge, the Mayo Clinic, and then he named off two other like big medical institutions that it's kind of what they know. It's their business. Like they have a lot of big business about it. And so I would trust his opinion over. But then Vance is from Ohio, and Ohio's not that far from. I mean, it's all kind of right there. Like it's more unbelievable than someone from one coast knowing what's going on the other coast. Like they're bordering states mostly. So, anyways, but yeah, he didn't say one way or another what the limit would be, and Vance said that he wanted to. I think he tried to not say that he wanted to ban them after a certain way, but he wanted to limit, which is banning. Like, like I think he just said like a synonym or is it synonym? Synonyms are the ones that sounds the same. What is it? Or synonymous? No, homonym is the one that sounds the same. Synonymous. Okay, sorry. So I had to take a trip down memory lane to language arts, like back in middle school. Anyways, so yeah, so I would have liked to see more direct, like, no, we don't allow abortions up to, or at least like some clarification, like, this isn't a choice that's easily made. Like, there has to be a medical reason for up to 9 months. Like, I think that could have been said, because I believe that's how it is. I mean, instead he just said, no, that's a lie. That's not true, but he didn't supply an actual time, like a number. And I hate that too, because like when you do a resume, and having gone through a few jobs in the last decade, thankfully, knock on wood, I think I'm in a good one now. But anyways, they like to see you quantify your abilities. So you have to put a number on things. And it's like, I helped X amount of dollars, or I saved this, and even that, like, you want to stay away from like saving the company direct money unless you know for sure. Like, you don't want to be ambiguous or speculate a lot. So, also something I noticed, I think I got banned from commenting because I made several large comments, like almost the whole thing. But I hope they made it there eventually. Like, maybe they were caught like in a filter. Like, let's hold these, for review and see what Robert Reich and his other co-host of that thing was. That was like a reaction video or live stream with YouTube because like the chat was hyphy and then like I said one big chat and then like the chat for me stopped. I didn't see anyone else comment after that. I was like, huh, that's weird. It was like I was muted and I don't know, you know, like I said, wow, it's just strange, you know. But anyways, and then I saw the comments roll in after. I didn't see my comments. I tried to scroll through and see. Plus, I don't know how far into it I waited to join because I was just like, oh, snap. I mean, I saw the announcement for it. I want to say like at least a good few, that was probably like 3 hours ago now. So, and I just got in on the last hour and a half. I did the same with the presidential debate. And when I talked to other people that watched it, they're like, oof, yes, Kamala Harris didn't do that great. But Donald Trump didn't really either. I mean, but they said that she didn't perform well in the first one. And same with Biden, too. Joe Biden. See, I don't know. I'm trying to not be sexist and partial when I say, because Kamala, that's just downright disrespectful. That's why I've been saying Donald all over XApp. It makes some people upset. Like, and it's funny. Like, they get all quiet and then they'll say something defensive. Or, no, I'm just kidding. I wonder if I'm being censored there, too. Just talking to myself with all. I'm just kidding. No, but anyways, back to the issue. So affordable housing, that was a thing. Although I honestly don't remember like what each of them said. And that was one of the comments that I said as I brought up Fading West, which is um, it's a company out here building prefab duplex or no prefab two-story homes. And I don't know if they include garages because that's really the important part. Is having a garage now because I mean, especially in Colorado, like the weather is harsh. I mean, it's really hard on cars, so that's a big concern. See, I don't even know where I want to. Maybe we could rebuild. I needed some blocks. There we go. And then, well, no, because now we're getting back into. We'll leave it at a turtle, and then we'll build like maybe another turtle. I don't know. There we go, the start of another turtle. We'll just make a bunch of them. So, I don't know, childcare. Or wait, no, let's talk insurance. So the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, and I didn't know a lot about this before I started debating some people online about it. And it was basically, oh, is that guy just in the ground? I'm sorry, I thought that was like a kid, and then I wasn't even thinking about it. Not that it matters. I think he was a kid, and then he popped up into. Can he move? There you go. Whew. That was interesting. Okay. My bad. So, anyways, the healthcare thing though, like Vance talked about rolling back and going back to choice, like pro-choice about healthcare, which that sounds great. Having just talked about abortion not that long before that, like pro-choice, okay, not pro-choice healthcare, but that's not what it. I mean, they don't mean the same thing. I mean, they do could mean the same thing. But at the cost of scrapping, and Trump already said that he didn't want to scrap Obamacare. He said it was a good thing. He was like, I don't like to admit it, but we're going to keep it if we don't have anything better. And he has a concept of a plan. Now, Vance wanted the choice, like companies to be able to choose. And then to me, that just said, you know, pre-existing conditions, like we can choose whether we want to give someone insurance. And then we get back to the point, well, some people aren't insured, and then they end up dying. Like there's actual deaths, there's a drop in deaths with the Affordable Care Act. Like more people had insurance, more people were empowered to go see a doctor, and a lot of it is preventable. Like things, you know, I know two people that have died this last year of preventable diabetes complications, just because it's hard to access doctors even now. But I mean, like that's with the ACA. But like, imagine if you didn't have it, and then we went back to and Walt's pointed that out. He's like, you know, if you have cancer, good luck. Like, you know, if they find out, they can choose not to insure you and only insure healthy people. And, you know, and it's just, that's dangerous. That's deadly, literally deadly. Like, you want to talk about a threat? Like, these millions of migrants, like, scary, yeah, deadly. I know two more people than I know personally died from hospital stuff. I don't know anybody. And now I'll knock on wood with that because I'm not saying that that danger doesn't exist. Although I am saying if you reinstated 2A to all, well, at least nonviolent felonies, but pretty much like if somebody pays their debt to society, they should get all their rights reinstated. and that's very popular with the manga crowd. So it's funny, like I'll just jump in every now and then. I'll be like, we should give 2A back to people that are done with their sentence, like, and then they get, yeah, let's do that, and they like it, and they'll repost it, like, and then they'll see me comment on something else, like anything else, literally, because I'm pretty democratic with my political stance, and I don't apologize for that. I'll try not to like make it offensive though. And like I can definitely see because I have a lot of Republican friends and they tell me the stuff that bothers them and I'm like, "Well, yeah, that is annoying. Like I wouldn't do that." But it gets to that point because of whoops, poor communication, miscommunication, under communication, over communication, like, muddying the waters. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, there you go. 15 minutes. I just pretty much summed up my take on the whole. Oh, okay. So there is a one important part. Vance didn't say that he would certify the election if he disagreed with it. Like he dodged the question. That was the one that was like kind of painfully obvious that he just struggled with. And yeah. And it is scary. Now, I would like to see online voting to where we wouldn't have to worry about that. And every vote, every single vote has a paper trail, a digital paper trail. And again, only system admins who already see all of your medical information, your social security numbers, your address, like all of this stuff. Like they know everything about you if they wanted or if they could. I mean, so they have the access, but so like I worked at an aerospace company for a while. I had access to everything, but if I dared to open a single file, I'd be in prison. You know why? Because there's a digital paper trail on all of it. Now, I mean, I've also worried, like, I had a lot of trust. I had a lot of access to just about everything else, including employee records, stuff like that. And that I did have to look at every now and then to do my job. Now, I still treated that very protectively, and that's one of the biggest things I learned in that cyber boot camp is you have to. That's one of the biggest risks of cybersecurity is a breach of data, like people's personal data that can be used to, do things like take out loans or, like take out a credit card. I don't even know what's all possible, but or even just flat out stealing. Like if they're trying to steal enough information to hack into your bank account, like to intercept transfers or whatever the case may be, and like it's a big game of whack-a-mole. Like the more we plug the holes, there's more holes found elsewhere. Like I just heard the other day there was a giant breach of data, but it ended up being like old stuff. And like I don't think I was in on it, but like I Googled myself just to see, and even that's like mostly like out of date. Like I've got like 50 addresses, but the ones that I found without some like serious digging. Wait, why is this? I mean, we'll do that. Oh, no, put that back. There you go. But anyways, and I do need to be more careful about. Well, we all need to be careful about how much we share, but at the same time, we need to work together to stamp out the factors that lead up to crime. Hippie farms, I'm telling you. We made a bunch of hippie farms, we'd fix crime tomorrow. Like, we took away people's stress. And that's what a lot of the debate was focusing on, was energy prices. Vance told a story about how he grew up, sometimes his mom couldn't turn the heat on. It was, because it was expensive. And okay, so we need to invest in energy that's super cheap. Like Elon is a huge proponent of solar. Like I saw him talk about the other day, like we could power the entire country if we just made like one state of solar panels. Not even a state. He's like a fraction of a state. And I'd like to see the actual information. And I trust Elon when he says that because I watched his unveiling of the electronic semi. And this is why, it's so interesting because a lot of people hate Elon outright. I like the guy. I mean, I don't like that he's, bending over backward for Trump, but I respect that he doesn't want to lose a lot of his wealth. And he doesn't really have a lot of that, like 200 billion or whatever. I mean, and I'm not simping for a billionaire, trust me, but I'm just trying to be realistic and logical about this. Like he doesn't have these stocks. Like I mean, I heard that he was trying to get the board to approve a payout for him of X amount of dollars. And granted, he has done a lot of great things. XApp, I love it. I've been talking to Chinese government people and like putting ideas in people's heads. I had a very lovely exchange with a Chinese person, like because I was trying to say, hey, you should legalize marijuana in a respectful way. I'm like trying to be very careful with how I broach that topic, but just suggesting it and offering in good faith, like, yeah, I'll bring a group of people over there and we'll introduce you to it, or we'll teach you everything we know about it. We'll share knowledge and understanding as a voice of peace for free too. I said you wouldn't have to pay a thing, just your time and taking a chance on a policy. That's it. And this person came back with like, we don't allow addictive or habit-forming drugs in this country. That's very rare to see. You don't see it a lot. And I was like, well, that's cool. I respect that. But I know, first off, it's a lie because, I mean, there are a lot of, I mean, not like lie, but like, I think it's like kind of downplaying it. Like, and I'm sure they don't see it as much as like America. But however, I know for a fact that there's a big, harsh effect of opiates. There's a lot of opiates produced in China. And to think that they don't somehow make their way into the black markets is just naive. Um, it's just naive. So, and but again, it's disrespectful and it's embarrassing, and they might not want to admit that, just like we wouldn't want to admit, like, we got a total, I mean, and they said it a few times in the debate tonight, like, we have a mental health crisis going on. Sorry, I'm just like running around while I talk. Let's go do something in the nether. Um, let's work on the nether junction. Wait, what am I doing? I was getting a bunch of lava? Yeah, let's do that. See, I'm just making like, because I do kind of want to build like a wall of obsidian, you know, make an actual like, so I've been filling in and just getting tons of lava. So we'll continue that. But anyways, no, it's just, I forgot what I was even talking about. I mean, the debate, I don't know, something's got to be done with affordable housing. Like, I mean, I think that is a bipartisan issue. And I'm glad to see that the vice presidents were willing to talk about potential solutions. However, that does not mean that the presidents would. I mean, I believe that Kamala Harris would work with Tim Waltz and listen to him and listen to the people, not Trump. I mean, Trump will only listen to Donald Trump. See, I hate that. Like, I'm so biased, not intentionally. So I've been calling him Donald because all he does, and especially Comrade Kamala. That's ridiculous. Like, and the borders are, and like, you know, and then it's even more funny that they're trying to kowtow to Russians and like, you know, give in to basically their demands and give them up Ukraine and like, you know, and guilt trip and kick and scream the whole way, like, and all the lies about like the aid. Oh, never mind. I guess I lost a bucket. That's right, because I didn't have a stack of emeralds before. Whoops. All right. It's 3 iron, so. But no, it's. And I don't think it's going to be the end of the world if either one. I mean, I am a little worried about those rockets going off on Israel. That's a very real thing. So yeah, in between all of this, like, we got basically more unrest in the Middle East happening. Tensions with China are rising because they want Taiwan back. I mean, they say that Taiwan never left, and they're pretty upset about it. And I feel like that is kind of a way that we need to, I don't know. I was talking to a professor that was pretty well versed in Chinese studies, and we were watching the elections of Taiwan, and like, you know, it's such a scary, tricky subject because I can respect China's desire to want to keep, you know, Taiwan and be like, no, that's part of us. Like, you can't secede. We had something similar to that. I mean, not definitely not to that degree, but we had part of Colorado wanted to secede and break off. They were fed up with the Democrat part of, like, you know, I think that was mostly what it was. A lot of the oil making people and all that, and then like, um, and we've heard a few things. And then Texas is like, you know, talked about, we're gonna secede or whatever, and like, um, you know, actually, wait, I need to do this. I think. Because once it's obsidian, then it's fine. Then it's actually a thing. But already I noticed a hole that I don't really want to pour lava into. And it is lava now that we've brought it up over. See right there. But I don't know if I'll even have to because I got plenty of spots. So something's got to be done about affordable housing. And I think companies like Fading West, building the prefab homes, working with Habitat for Humanity, our Democratic governor out there, you know, visiting one of the construction sites and, you know, basically showing his support for the program and like the Habitat for Humanity idea, it needs to be broadly expanded. Like everybody should have to build part of their house. I'm down for that. I would totally do that. Like, in fact, I'm looking into doing exactly that. I'm really more worried about my buddy currently, and that's why I keep pushing the hippie farm idea, solely because like he gets a house out of it. Now, he'll also run the grounds and grow a lot of fonio and sorghum, are two crops that, like fonio at least, it's like chives or green onions, I think. I saw it from a Bill Gates thing, like from the Bill Gates Foundation, talking about food insecurities and malnutrition. Like, that's something very. Oh, wait, careful there, youngster. Hold on. Don't go getting burned. Uh, there we go. Oh, whoops. Yeah, well, I wasted one lava there. That's fine. I didn't lose the bucket. But anyways, oh, energy too. Like that, I'm wondering if that's gonna be a problem because Elon has been posting a lot about how his solar tile roofs, like, and if more people had those, then we just wouldn't have an energy at all. Like, you could have your heating. You wouldn't need to worry about it because the energy stored during the day from the sunshine would heat your home at night. Like bada bing, electric heat, like, and then the battery packs in, and that's one of the things that I like with China. And I posted this article, and someone was like, "That's an old article." It's 2 years old, bud. Calm down. It was from 2022, and like this dude was poo-pooing it just because it was slightly old. I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" 2 years is not like an eternity. But anyways, I'm a little sore about that because the batteries were aluminum, sulfur, and something else, but basically not lithium, and they didn't form dendrites, which means they don't explode, they don't short circuit, they don't wear out, like, over time they don't corrode. Like, it's a magnificent thing. And I don't even know that much about batteries, but just from those points, and same with when Elon demonstrated his semis, the electrical semis, no J brakes, no, like do 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 do, which means no runaway ramps. Like, they'll actually be able to stop when they need to. Like, that's huge. We had a huge accident that killed a lot of people from a runaway semi in Colorado recently. Um, I think that was like within 2 years, and that was one of the biggest things people were worried about. It was like, oh my gosh, like how can this happen? And when you're driving around the mountains of Colorado, you see these runaway ramps all over. And you hope you never see a truck do that, but someone inexperienced, like, cheap labor. And that's where I'm kind of sympathetic with the Republican thinking of we need to stop taxing people that are creating jobs. Like, okay, but are those hedge fund managers like creating jobs? Like, are they the ones wheeling and dealing and like cheating at the stock market, basically? It's 400,000. Like, even if you made it inclusive, that would just be taxing the crud out of the president, which is fine. I believe that. If you can win the lottery and have most of it, or like a huge chunk of it taxed like we do, then I feel like that's just fine. You tax the president. In fact, we should make Congress make minimum wage just for a year to see how fast things change. But no, I mean, that's not really realistic, but it sounds nice. Like, let them see. But they really do require a lot of education and years of experience to get to those posts. So like, that isn't really feasible. However, like, oh, what? Why? Why? What? What happened? Oh, you know what? Because I think the this stuff is slightly lower, so then I can get touched by it. Because notice, watch, and this is all I'll explain. Yep, see, lower, higher, lower, higher, lower, and potentially burned. And now it doesn't matter because I'm not going to lose that bucket. I already did, and I made sure my inventory only had, although I don't trust it. Okay. Okay. And I'm barely making a dent in this. Like, I've gotten so many. Oh, there's the alarm. But I've gotten so many runs of this back and forth, back and forth. And I'm only like, what, 6 units in, maybe, in some of the higher places. So, anyways, my summary of all that, it was nice to watch. I'm glad I watched it. I'm a little less scared if I mean, they should be president. Like, let's just scratch the other two. Although I hate to say that because Kamala Harris would be the first woman president, and we do need that. Like, we've got 40, that would make 46 in a row dudes. Like, that's not fair representation at all. So, I mean, and that's what I told someone was like, we should draft women. I was like, yeah, let's draft women after we have 45 women presidents. Like, let's see how female leadership could actually help, this country. We've seen what male leadership does, or He-Man, whatever. But anyways, ta-ta for now. I'll see you in the next one. Sorry to be like one completely political one, but that is kind of the nature of it. So every now and then I'll be talking. That is, and it goes back to cybersecurity too, because the job of a cybersecurity professional will ultimately become easier when all of this other nonsense becomes easier as well. So I mean, it's in everyone's best interest. And there's bombs going off, like freaking. Oh, I'm really worried about that. Like, because the people that lose are the people on the other ends, or the receiving ends of those explosives. Like, it's not necessarily the military. And at least, like, with the Israel attack, not supporting any of it. But when they blew up all those cell phones, I mean, they say it was very targeted and it only killed the people it intended. But then, I remember my own country bombed like a van full of kids. Like, one of the first things that President Biden did was blow up a van full of kids. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like, we cannot live in a world where that can happen anywhere. I don't care who you are. Like, it's just not okay. We're done with that. Like, we're better than that. So, anyways, that's up for now. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you later.